Hey y'all, Colin from the Sumthins, and today I'm going to show you how to improve your mixes with mix bus processing. Coming up next. Welcome to video 2 of the 1 hour mix series, and in this little 10-minute chunk, we're going to go over how to take that raw balance from the first video and make it better.
I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm Batman.
Which is a couple simple moves. To start, I'm going to show you how I set up my mix bus compressor. And then perhaps we'll experiment with some EQ before the compressor, some multi-band compression, and maybe we'll even try some console saturation. Who knows where we'll end up. Once again, this is video 2 of 6, so make sure you subscribe to stay updated on all the new content as it comes out, and don't forget to download the multi-tracks so you can follow along. Okie dokie, here we are in the session. Let me just get my handy-dandy 10-minute timer here going, and we're going to do some mix bus processing. So what I know for sure is we're going to do some mix bus compression, and I'm going to show you how I set up my limiter. I mix through a limiter, so I know closer to what the mix is going to sound like after it's been mastered. I don't generally like surprises post-mastering. Perhaps we'll get into some EQ, and I'll probably try out a multi-band on the master bus, but we'll see if we end up using it or not. So video 2 begins now.
I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back, I miss you, Jay. Lord, don't let this be true. No, 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 no. It all comes back to you.
Okay, so a little bit of EQ there. I try to do really subtle moves. When you're working with the master bus or the mix bus, you want to do subtle moves because you got to think this is affecting the whole mix. All of the tracks are coming through here, so a half a dB of movement is actually a lot. So a little bit here around 280. Just a little bit of cut. It looked like it was building up there, and when I boosted it, it felt like it was building up there too. A tiny little boost here up at 7K, and I experimented with a high shelf here. I think I had it a little bit too much, almost 1 dB, so I pulled it back to a half dB there, and then a touch here at about 2.5, 2.3, just another half dB. So all these are half dB movements here, but notice they're in wide bands, so nothing's really narrow. It keeps everything smooth, keeps everything sounding balanced, and nothing's too much. So when I flip this on and off, it's really subtle. Take a listen.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I miss you.
Yeah, so if you really listen, you can hear the vocals. The vocals sound a little better because it takes out a little bit of that mids there. The vocals sound a little bit too thick with that back in, and you can hear the cymbals. They brighten up a little bit with those two high boosts. So I think I'm liking that. This is my standard mix bus compressor. I generally mix at about the same volume, so I can just kick this in and it does what I want it to do. It's only about 1.5 to 2 dB of compression. It's not too much, but it helps keep things tame. Those snares that pop through, it tucks those in, and just a dB of gain on the output to keep things sounding generally the same level in and out. We could try, this is something new, to Studio One. Studio One 3, it was actually new. We could try a little bit of this. I don't want any noise. I don't want any crosstalk. Crosstalk bleeds the channels together. I really don't want to hear any of that. We could try some of this drive, though. This is like a little bit of console saturation, a little bit of analog. Let's see what it sounds like.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I miss you, Jay. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever.
I mean, it definitely makes things smoother. I don't particularly like what it does to the low end, and it kind of screws up my balances. So we're not going to use that right now. But we will try a little bit of multiband here on the end. I used to use multiband compression on all my mixes. This is why I have a mix bus preset saved. So it's just 3 bands to 160 and then 160 to 2.5K. And they're all set the same. So everything is the same on them. The threshold and the attack and release. So here, I'll show you what that does.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at
I really like what that does on this mix. I don't always use it because sometimes it can be a bit much, but I really like what it's doing. I don't like the EQ going into that, so I'm going to get rid of that for now. These compressors sound pretty good, though. The balance going in wasn't quite right, so let me check the balance in and out of this first compressor.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll
I like that a lot. The last thing we need to throw in is this limiter. You might want to turn your output down, or actually I'll turn it down here. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So the limiter is just adding 6 dB a gain, and it's cutting everything off at 1 dB, so nothing peaks. So let me show you what that sounds like.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep.
Okie dokie. So time is actually up there. Just got the limiter on right before the time went off. Let me show you what it sounds like without this mix tool, though. So you can hear actually what the volume boost does. And then I'll put the mix tool back in just so the volume isn't too much. Be careful, this is going to be a bit louder than it was.
I'll send my love on a shooting star. I'll send it fast and I'll send it far. Hear your voice in my sleep at night, but only in my dreams could it be this right. To me it won't ever be the same, so please come back. I miss you, Jay.
I lied. I'm not going to bring the mix tool back in. So that's generally the level that I mix at. The limiter just makes sure that when I send this off to have it mastered, when it's boosted up to commercial levels, the mix doesn't change in a way that I don't like. Mixing through the limiter makes sure that there's no surprises when I send this off to have it mastered, and the volume boost doesn't do anything strange to my mix. So I'm mixing through a limiter and a compressor. So we've added a half dB gain here, 0.72, so almost a dB there, and then 6 dB here going on the output. So it's kind of like pseudo mastering, but it's not actually mastering. It's just a little bit of monitoring level. That's it for this episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, hit that like button and hit the notification bell so you'll get notified as new videos come out. Download the multi-tracks, experiment with your own mix bus processing, and do leave any questions you have below. Happy mixing, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.